So Four Knights of the Apocalypse chapter 84 has just come out, and now we're really getting into just the big reveals for the story. And I'm just really excited to talk about it because, well, not too much happened in this chapter. We just got nice character interactions, and just overall we're getting the lead up to Arthur's true goal and everything about Camelot. We also got the titles for each of the individual Knights of the Apocalypse, which is honestly really cool and kind of what everyone more or less expected, but it's still nice that we got the titles for those characters. But let's just hit that intro and get right into the chapter. Chapter 84 of the Four Knights of the Apocalypse, titled The Changing of an Age. We start directly from last week where Percival's group got appointed Holy Knights. As everyone is kind of going over, their excitement over finally becoming Holy Knights, Nazian very embarrassed, Donnie's just super hyped about it. Meliodas is even probably not being like, come on, don't act all surprised. Now you guys can support Percival like you always have. That'll be your duty as the Percival platoon. Can I count on you? Of course, now that you're Holy Knights, there's one thing you should never forget. As Donnie and Percival just shout the Holy Knights anthem, as Nazian goes over to Anne, realizing that she looks kind of down. She goes over to Meliodas and just says, I refuse to be a Holy Knight, shocking her friends. She goes on to say that I'm truly honored that you appointed me as one, but I don't have any strength like Percival or any magical power that could be useful for battle like Donnie and Nazian's. I'm sure it'll just hold everyone back from now on. Percival saying that's not true, as Anne doesn't want to be comforted. Meliodas just saying, well, I can't force it on you if it's not what you want. But Elizabeth walks over to Anne, stating that she heard from Dreyfus that when everyone was fighting against Meliodas, she rushed over to evacuate the citizens. Anne just tries to push it off, saying that it's only because it was the only thing that she could do. But Elizabeth goes on to say, those who can do what others cannot are certainly wonderful. But I believe that those who do what others try to do are even more amazing. Anne then blushes out of just sheer embarrassment and stuff. But I gotta say, that is a nice quote from Elizabeth and something that she would say, basically saying, look, people who do what others can are really good, but those who try and do what others can are just as great. So basically saying that what Anne did was great and something that she should be honored to do. I mean, yeah, she could have gone to fight Meliodas, but she prioritized the safety of the citizens first, and that's honestly something any great Holy Knight would do. Or even, let's just say, a hero would do. Prioritizing the innocent civilians so they wouldn't get caught in the crossfire. Plus, if we're gonna go with battle, Anne has actually some pretty good combat abilities, and her ability to just read through people with her lie detection, or knowing when someone's hiding something, that's really great for intelligence gathering also. She could be a great Holy Knight, and that was proved during they fought the Dark Talismans. Granted, she needed Lancelot's help, but that's still something, and she kind of puts herself down to the fact that she couldn't physically help in the current fight. But yeah, Elizabeth kind of gave words of encouragement to Anne, and that's very much appreciated, as I do love Anne, and I really want to see how she'll progress in the story. We then get this nice page of everyone putting their hands together, stating that the Percival platoon is ready to go, and I just like that these four friends are actually getting hyped up to be Holy Knights. But Meliodas basically says, alright, the others are waiting, so I guess we're off. As Meliodas just says, they're gonna head over to the war room, as he told them yesterday, that he'd explain everything once everyone was gathered together. Meliodas says, sorry to keep you. If it's about appointments, I took care of them all. Oh, they're here. As we get a nice 2-page spread showing Lancelot, Tristan, and the Tristan platoon waiting in the war room for everybody. And honestly, as much as I like everyone's dialogue, Isolde being excited that Anne's here, Jay just complaining that the Percival platoon are in their pajamas, Tristan welcoming them with open arms, Shion being a dick, saying that they're the weakest here and they've arrived. Oh yay. As yeah, I hate this guy so much, and he will get some nice comeuppance in this chapter that I'm gonna really look forward to. But I like Lancelot's dialogue, just telling Percival to just hurry up and sit next to him. I love that Lancelot is just being so open about how much he likes the group and Percival and everything. It's just really sweet and shows just how much of a caring person he is and how much he views these guys as his friends. But Percival brings up that, Gawain's here. The Gawain isn't there. As we then see in the next page that she is sitting on Isolde's lap as she says, "I was the first to arrive." And Gawain is honestly pretty tiny. I mean, granted, she's sitting on Isolde's lap and she's just very tall, but it does seem like that she's just very short. I mean, I'm not complaining. It's kind of, she does look very adorable as she's just sitting on Isolde's lap. As she's like, "Excuse me, miss, how about we continue our talk about love from yesterday?" As she's just swinging around, being comforted in Isolde's lap. But Isolde doesn't even recognize Gawain as a Knight of Prophecy. And Chion basically just shoos away Gawain, telling her to run home. As Gawain just points her finger towards Chion, saying, "Insolent cur," as she lights his hair on fire. And I find this hilarious. Chion acts like a complete and utter dick all the time, and I am just so happy that he got some form of comeuppance. The fact that Gawain was the one to do this was honestly kind of funny also, and I kind of loved it. But the flame gets put out, as Thetis is also in the room, as she came from the throne room, as she herself was the one that put out the flames. Telling all the kids to just stop screaming since it's so early in the morning. And Meliodas introduces her as Thetis, Elizabeth's personal magician and the best in Leonis. Thetis then goes on to say, "Now then, my lord, let's get started already." As Meliodas says, "Yes, ma'am." I find that hilarious, but I think Meliodas is the most casual and goofy with his friends. So I really want confirmation, like 100% confirmation that Thetis is Darius' reincarnation. That would also kind of explain why she is so close with Elizabeth, and also why Meliodas is just acting super casual, or more casual and goofy than he normally is with her. But I don't really care. It is what it is. But anyway, Meliodas gets right to the chase. As first, he thanks them for coming, and calls them the Knights of Prophecy who are destined to destroy the world, as he goes on to list them. Knight of Famine, Gawain. Knight of War, Lancelot. Knight of Pestilence, Tristan. And Knight of Death, Percival. So, honestly, from chapter 5, and after noticing the different characters, we all more or less kind of assumed who would be who in terms of the 4 knights monikers and titles. But it's just nice to get those, well, stated in the actual story, and I like it. It all kind of fits, and I'm very happy for it. It's something that I really kind of enjoyed. So, yeah, it's just nice to get this little confirmation. But Percival's friends were just wondering, wait, Percival's the Knight of Death? Gawain just says, "I object." Same with Percival. How are we going to... We don't want to do anything like destroy the world. But Meliodas goes on to say, "No. You're gonna destroy it. The world of Camelot created by Arthur, that is." So, they're not going to destroy the actual full world, just, Arthur's world. So, actually, yeah, that is very specific and ties into the whole thing with them being Arthur's natural enemy. So, I like that we got that bit of clarification. They're basically destined to destroy Camelot. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. And I like how Gawain just being all smug, being like, "I thought that was the case from the very start." As she was basically just as clueless as Percival, which is kind of hilarious. Considering that half of the 4 knights are just naturally short and and adorable, is just kind of funny. Gawain and Percival are just going to have some funny interactions. I'm calling it now. They had some in the Leonis arc when they were fighting against Meliodas. Right now, they're definitely just going to have some kind of funny dynamic, and I'm really looking forward to it. We go on to more clarification. Percival wondering, why am I called the Knight of Death? Meliodas just goes on to say, "That's just how you're seen on the opposing side. After all, you're the ones who will bring hope to Britannia." As Percival just goes on to sulk, saying like, "I wish you told me that from the start, Lancelot." As Lancelot just snickers, being like, "Wait, I didn't?" Oh man, Lancelot's just a huge troll, and I love it. Every single chapter Lance is in continues to affirm that he is my favorite character in this entire series. And also solidifies, yeah, he is Bond's son. Bond would do something like this, so... Oh man, the father-like-son comparisons are just something I really enjoy. Anyway, goes on to say, I don't see any reason to fight Camelot. It was a kingdom that fell 16 years ago, wasn't it? Thetis basically says, yes, the old Camelot does not exist anymore. In this world. She goes on to explain that Arthur used his power of chaos to bring forth a new Camelot within another dimension. And we saw this in the early chapters of the Four Knights of the Apocalypse from chapter 5 onward, as we saw like this weird, chaotic, mishmash dimension that is supposed to be Camelot. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense, and, chaos is incredibly unpredictable. She goes on to liken it to the likes of the fairy realm and the demon realm, respectively, and that due to how hard it is to infiltrate, they still have not grasped the full picture of that world. And she says, what are we fighting for, you're probably asking? The fact is, even they don't even know what they're fighting for either, because it's Arthur's side that's going to start this war. Aesthetics goes on to say that it's really her speculation as a magician as to Arthur's reason why. More or less kind of saying that there has to be some sort of price to pay to further construct and maintain Camelot. And Percival's kind of confused, like, construct, maintain, price? But Thetis taps her staff on the ground saying, it's better if you saw for yourself, as she more or less seemingly teleports everybody or just creates an illusion to show everyone what they're supposed to see. She says, look ahead, not down, as Percival and his friends are shocked, but Tristan and his platoon aren't really shocked. I don't know if they're just shocked or they know this, but they don't like seeing this. Lancelot is stoic as ever, and Gawain is like, this is my uncle's, as we see a 2-page spread of just mountains and areas from where I presume Camelot used to be back in the 7 Deadly Sins series, as there are like square shapes just missing, gone, like seemingly like taken from the ground and disappeared, as Meliodas' closing statement is that this is the reality of Camelot, the reason we fight Arthur Pendragon, as the chapter ends. So, really interesting chapter. We're most likely going to be getting the rest of this explanation in the next chapter titled Gloom. Quick thoughts on this chapter. I like the interaction with the Percival group. I like Elizabeth cheering up on and giving her words of encouragement so that she can, actually not feel bad about accepting the Holy Knight position despite her not doing anything in the battle against Meliodas originally, but just doing what she could do. I like that. It shows some more stuff for on in the future, and I want to see more of the Percival platoon. Some really nice character interactions from the 4 knights and their teams respectively. Lancelot just being like a really awesome friend and just acting like a troll, being like, oh, I didn't tell you that you guys are supposed to save the world, not destroy it, or the specifics of why you're for the 4 knights or whatever. Huh, funny that. Lancelot continues to be my favorite character in the series, and Gawain is racking up some more points as well, just with the fact that she is just a chibi version of herself, still acting all cool, calm, collective, and prideful, and just basically trying to flirt with Isolde while sitting on her lap, which is both adorable and hilarious. And Chion getting his hair lit on fire for being an ass. I would love to see Chion just insult Gawain, and then she just instantly turns into her, daytime or adult her fully grown muscular form and just punch the shit out of the guy. I cannot stress how much I want to see that guy get punched in the face for his smug and dipshit attitude. And the final reveal that, well, it seems from what this final last 2 pages are seeming like, my speculation is in order for Arthur to create and expand Camelot the way he wants to, there are a few things he has to do. One, based on this image, he has to literally erase places of Britannia and maybe teleport them to continue to maintain Camelot. That's my interpretation of events, because everything just seems like perfect cubes and cuttings through rock and landmass. So it would make sense, since he's creating in a whole other dimension, he might want to have like a proper base for it to build upon it. I can go on an entirely different video for Arthur and this whole thing, but this is just my base assumption. There's also the other thing that involves Ironside from the Sistana arc with the Coffin of Eternal Darkness thing. It's very possible that Arthur might also need like the price of like actual citizens and souls and areas to be like transported to Chaos or something like that. We still don't know what fully Ironside was trying to do with the Coffin of Eternal Darkness, but it could have something to do with the price to maintain Camelot. Still, this is a nice, interesting way to go about things, and also the fact that Meliodas doesn't really have a reason to fight Arthur right now, and more the fact that they don't even know the reason why they're supposed to be fighting, to an extent, but Arthur is the one that's basically declaring war on them and starting the fighting. So I'm curious to see all this, how Arthur became who he is, but overall, I'm just excited to get more and more answers. I like that we got the titles of the 4 knights, and I like that we're finally getting into the meat of the purpose of this series and how Arthur became the way he is, and stuff about Camelot. But yeah, that was chapter 84 of the Four Knights of the Apocalypse. Another really good chapter, and I can't wait for next week. So I continue to be impressed by Four Knights. It's just getting better and better with every single chapter. But what did you guys think of this chapter? What are your thoughts and opinions on everything that happened? The stuff with the Four Knights interactions, their titles, Percival's team becoming Holy Knights, as well as what is your interpretation of the site that we saw involving the explanation for Camelot, the price for it, and everything. Leave your thoughts, opinions, and theories down in the comment section down below. I really do enjoy talking to you guys, and it's something very nice to talk about. Because sometimes you guys will notice stuff that even I don't notice. And it makes future videos a lot easier and more informative. But yeah, that's it for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. It really does help. And I really love the Four Knights content on this channel. And you guys, I know you guys love it. So I want to continue doing this as much as possible. But yeah, with all that said and done, I hope you guys enjoyed. And I hope you all have an awesome day.